So one of those things happened to me. One of those things that makes you think about your life, like when you get injured at work, or when you get into a car accident, or when a friend of yours dies of a drug overdose. Only for me, it was nothing like that. I submitted my novel to a book publisher. And they said, okay, we're going to put it through our peer review process. And I got dinged for spelling. I read all the time, but I suffer from a learning disorder. And I keep having jerks on the internet tell me I'm stupid because I have a learning disorder, even though medical science has actually determined that I suffered a brain injury. Now, setting aside the fact that there are an infinite number of jerks on the internet, and I really shouldn't pay them any mind, doesn't change the fact that my problem prevented me from getting published. So we could say that here it is, I have this problem, and I'm probably going to a work that is very dangerous and poorly paying because I haven't corrected this problem in my life. Yes, so I came up with a crazy idea. See, I looked around, I have books everywhere in my house. I own more than 1,000 books easily. So I said, well, for one thing, I have to stop buying so many books because I'm not reading them, even though I read all the time. That's point one. Point two, I need to read more books to correct the problem in my head, because slowly over time I should be able to correct my nerve damage. Okay, and then I also need to get myself a job where I'm not dodging blunt objects every now and again, and where I'm, being taken care of and where I'm valued for my skills. So I came up with this utterly crazy idea. Train. That's not my idea. Bad Train. I came up with this idea called the 5,000 times that train has interrupted my videos. Bad Train. Bad. I'm not editing this. I'm leaving this in here. YouTube wants longer videos anyway. So I came out with the 5,000 Project. And this is, I read 100 books before I'm allowed to buy one more book. Then I read 99 books before I'm allowed to buy one more book. Then I read 98 books until I'm allowed to buy, you guessed it, one more book. Now I can go to the library. I can get books from my work, because I work at a homeless shelter. Books are donated. But one thing I definitely would not be able to do is, for example, go back to school, because I'd have to buy a lot of books every semester, and I'd have to do a lot of reading. And incidentally, the reason it's called the 5,000 Project is I calculated, but by the time I read 5,000 books, I would reach a 1-to-1 ratio, and every time I read a book, I could buy another one. Okay, so here's the thing. I would read each book, and I would review each book. Every book I own goes back on the to-be-read list until it gets reviewed. Every one of them. Every book I own. And I own the book, gotta review it. Unless it's something like an almanac, I don't imagine that would be readable, or a telephone book, those don't count. But the encyclopedia, the dictionary, those count. Okay, the Bible, gotta read that. Important reading. There you go. I have DVDs for the National Geographic. I'm considering each volume, each year, a book. So there you have it. I have therefore got to read 5,000 books and make 5,000 YouTube videos about these books. Right now I've reviewed about 6 books. So, where am I? Well, I'm at the point where I'm going to be sitting around doing so much reading that my body stops working. So I came up with this other ridiculous idea called Fat Man Getting Fit. And that idea was that I would go and exercise in order to prevent my body from breaking down, because I was spending all of my other time reading books. Another thing is I love movies. So as I go through my National Geographic, as I go through it, I can go through the movies for for the corresponding years. National Geographic started, I believe, in 1890 or 1889, one of the two. So here it is. Film. The first film was filmed in America in either 1889 or 1890. So here it is. After that, as I read the National Geographics, I look up the films produced in that year, and I review those too. So basically, I have maybe another 3,000 videos to make, so you've gotten up to a total of 8,000 videos. As a life's work, I'm trying to make 8,000 videos here, which is crazy, not including the ones about health, where I exercise to stop being fat. So here's this thing. I am trying to get my life in order. It's called the 5,000 Project. I read 5,000 books. I review 5,000 books. I go through my magazines. I read years or watch years of cinema that correspond with those magazines, and I review them on YouTube. I make hundreds, no thousands, no all kinds of videos. Correct the bullshit in my head that happened because of an injury. Get myself in shape and get my life in order. That's the 5,000 Project. It is a project so ambitious that I probably will never finish it. Been doing this for like 7 months now, and I've reviewed 6 books. But hey, it's a life goal. I mean, you know, I might live another 50 years. So, you know, that's 100 books a year. 600, 6... Oh, I'm screwed. Anyway, I better get to work.